Awesome. Right. So yeah, the first thing I was going to have a quick look. There was a message that came in on Discord. They've shared like a file path and asking like where that's called, what kind of calls that. Now, CI I know is like incredibly complex. So Nicholas might have a better idea than me for this one, but I guess the first thing I'm gonna do is see if I can find like a reference to parsers in a Ruby file. So
Yeah,
there's a
don't worry,
lot.
I also struggled a lot with CI code.
Yeah, like I don't know if you can remember, Nicholas, but we had a community contributor like a few hackathons ago, I think, or maybe even before that. They were seeing if they could help us add a job description keyword. The idea being that you'll be able to see when you like drill down into a job, maybe on the right hand side, a description of the job, because I think every job has a name, right? But they wanted to add a description. And we had a session where we just kind of went down this rabbit hole of like, oh, this is called by this, which is called by this, which is called by this, and just kind of went round in circles. But so I mean, it's a good start because we can definitely see several places where there's references to this, and I guess I could probably be more specific, but then maybe I can't, because if there's another file in here that's referencing parsers, then I don't think it needs to use the GitLab CI prefix if it's already in that sort of namespace. But wow, there's a lot. So let's exclude test. And yet we've still got 67 results in 26 files. So maybe I'll just kind of share that initially. I think you can only see my code. Can't see Discord or anything else, but just share. Okay, so I regret. Share that to start with, and I'll see. So what does this actually do? GitLab CI passes.
I think the most relevant results are the results from the build IB in the models.
Gotcha. I mean, to me,
Maybe
this
the job
looks,
artifact.
yeah, I was going to say this very much looks like when you in a job when you specify the artifacts and you say something like reports and then you tell it like code quality reports, etc., which is interesting because this name doesn't really reek of that to me. I would expect it maybe even to be like GitLab CI parsers and then something like reports or artifacts or something like that. But yeah, so there you go. Collect test reports, collect accessibility report, collect code quality reports, etc. So I think you're right. That seems like a really sort of natural place where it would be. So,
Yeah, those things are more likely like report parsers, and they just remove the report from that name.
yeah. So oh yeah, and sorry that is right in front of me what I was just saying a minute ago. So yeah, there's then a bunch of I don't know what you want to call it, children or like report parsers that are defined within here. Yeah, cool. Well, I've shared that on Discord. Um, maybe they'll give a bit more context or ask some follow-up questions. So there the main thing I think we were going to dig into was that triage ops one, but I've realized that today is the cutoff day for the hackathon, for the last hackathon. We might have talked about this previously, Ariana, but I haven't got round to like doing any announcements or tallying up the points, etc. So I'm tempted to just really quickly do that, if that's okay. So Again, conscious I've got a million things open, but I'm going to try and just share the one screen so we can sort of, this is what I've said when we've had a few of our catch-ups in the past, that like most of the things that we're talking about, there's absolutely no reason for them to not be public, if that makes sense. I hope this is one of them. So yeah, what we can now see up until today, anytime we'd come to this leaderboard and selected the hackathon, like every single person in the list had points because we hadn't reached the cutoff date. So during the kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, participation phase, it will show like the potential number of points that everybody can get. But once we've passed the cutoff, merged before date in here, merged before here. Once we pass that, then it shows like the final scores. So essentially these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 didn't manage to get their merge requests in before the cutoff date. So what I would do is go to the forum. I think this is where we do like the main announcement. And now I've got to try and find where on the forum it is. We've got like a hackathon tag. So we've got announcing the April results. So hopefully this button down the bottom should copy this in like the right format roughly to put in here. So I need some copy paste in there somewhere. Why can't I click? I've got to give it a title and stuff first. Announcing the so the first and category I think is community, and yeah, hackathon. So we can pop that in there and see. That's not quite right, is it? We need some kind of header. Cheat. And then what? Beautiful. Cheat and do a quick search and replace. So instead of price, we're going to put participant. Oh no, was it done? It's better. And then the first one I'm going to do first place. We're going to do a tie break, I think, because the two participants scored so highly. I think that, you know, it's only fair that we award something to the third place as well. So we're going to go with that. So that's our list. And then we just need a quick intro, which no laser me, but let's copy and paste here. So it's August 2024. So we had 278 from 64 contributors. And 219, which is 219 divided by 278, 79%, I think. It's a pretty good number. So the next one is October 21st. 27. Yes. Really? Spot any obvious mistakes before I hit post on that?
On the hackathon page, it says until the 28th instead of 27.
Yeah, I really need to fix that. So there's this kind of weird thing, like I think we do actually specify on the hackathon page when you click on here. I know it's a bit hidden, that it runs like from sort of midnight on the 21st till midnight on the 20th. Or yeah, my brain can't quite comprehend this, but I I said like in natural English, I would say like if an event runs for a week, I would say from Monday to Sunday, I think, rather than Monday to Monday. So that's
Yeah,
what,
okay, that makes sense.
yeah. But here, because we've got a time on it, like technically it's the next day. So I'm like, this is where Ariana's gonna make it all better, right? And you're gonna do all the things that I could have done better and polish off a little bit. So
I'm still
um,
getting used to the different time zones.
well, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm quite lucky because I'm almost UTC, but
Yeah.
yeah, that meetup.com where it just screws with the time zone is just in the backside. But I'm going to leave it as is for the time being and see what happens. But so let's
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
Being close to UTC is a really good help for understanding the times and not having to calculate so much in your head. If you
And
just have to
also,
do, I think, plus
yeah,
or
normally
minus
being the
one or
right
two.
day as well. Like I, when you start getting to like Australia and that, and quite often, like if somebody invites you to, in fact, I did do it. I joined like before I joined the team, I joined an onboarding call that I saw was, I think it was like Wednesday at 7 a.m. And I was like, yeah, awesome. But it was like 7 a.m. Wednesday in Australia, so it was actually Thursday in the UK or something crazy like that, right? So I got the time right. I had adjusted the time zones, but I got the day wrong.
Oh.
But
Yeah, time
yeah,
zones are fun.
let's scrap them, right? So that's the main thing that we need. And we can share that in some other places. I feel better for having done that. And then I think we'll look at the October tracking issue. I can't remember. I think I closed this. No, we didn't close it yet because it's got some tick box that we still need to. I'm looking at the one. Sorry, August hackathon issue. That is still open, and the tracking issue. Now, there was one actually that I might sneak on there because they did say so that one got merged, awesome. But this one, I feel like through no fault of that own, yeah, maybe it was okay, where but let's just do a quick August. The results have been posted, and I'm going to double check. I've lost faith, lost confidence. Canoe. Yeah, I'm gonna add them on. Title. Body. Yeah. I normally copy this bit as well. So that link to, and we'll do some sharing on Discord and like issuing the prizes and everything. We'll sort that out tomorrow, or I'll sort that out later tonight and share the details. But I think that's enough. That'll people that are waiting for that notification, so we'll get that out of the way. So triage ops. You got the project pulled down?
Yeah, I have it already.
Awesome.
So actually, what I don't have ready is the ticket. I might have it on another tab.
Get the labels up quickly while you're getting the ticket up.
Yeah, so the ticket basically says we want to add a label that's quick when removed whenever this is unlabeled.
Yeah, so essentially we've got a bot or a processor or whatever you want to call it, that when people add the quick win label to an issue that hasn't been properly I don't know what you want to call it, curated, so it hasn't got the correct weight on it, or it hasn't got an implementation plan on it, then the bot will poke them and it'll tell them that they need to fix it, and it will remove that label. Is awesome, but we don't really have a great way of auditing, how often is that happening, and when it does happen, are people then going back fixing the problems, so either adding the implementation plan or the weight and then re-adding that label. We don't have that visibility. So the idea is if as well as removing the label, we add some other label. I know it's a bit crazy, but it will allow us to kind of easily audit these. I have just thought of another possible option, but no, I think this is the best way to do it. There was something we were talking about earlier, and if you reference one issue from another issue, then you can then see all those references in that issue, if that makes sense. So rather than creating a label, what we could have done is we could have added a reference to like another issue, and then we'd be able to see all of these from there. The problem with that, I think, is that list would just kind of keep growing and growing and growing. If we use this label that we're thinking about using, then we can have some logic in to get rid of that label once we've kind of processed them. So I think we'll stick with this for the moment. So our theory was, I think we've already got a bunch of struggling with something. We've already got a bunch of labels which have a prefix of automation that are used by various automations to sort of say, that a bot authored this, or that a stale reminder's been sent, or that there's a bunch of automation prefix labels. So I think it makes sense to use an automation prefix label. And you could do a grep in just a search in here to look for the word automation followed by a semicolon. Or sorry, a colon, not a semicolon. So you can see a couple of instances here. So this is probably where we want to define our new label in like as a constant in here. And I need to actually create that label as well in GitLab itself.
Interesting that quick win isn't in here. They define it right here.
Yeah, I mean, we could possibly take the opportunity to improve that. It might be that generally speaking, only if a label is used in more than one place that it gets abstracted out to that. But I think it would be practice for us to put a new one in there, maybe, especially alongside these other two automation labels. So I don't know if we go for both and it's like automation, quick win, removed, or if we come up with something a bit more
I say go for both.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, okay. And looking at these labels, there are a few with white space in them, but the majority of them are hyphenated, like the ones you've got in front of you there. So let's do it all lowercase. Exactly. Yeah. I will create quickly. So,
how do you create it from the GitLab side?
Oh, great question. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to share my screen if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead and take it for a second.
So yeah, just within like GitLab org, manage labels. We have to do them at like the group level because this bot runs across multiple groups. Okay. So I'll need to do it in all four of those groups, and then it's automation. Now it's not a scoped label. That's quite important. It's just one colon, not two colons, because we want it to be possible to have multiple automation labels on any single issue. If we make it a scoped label, you can only have one or the other. And I just copied the color code from another one. And what I would love to do, so it's quick win remove.
Yes.
And what would be awesome is to probably link it to, I guess we've got an issue somewhere. Quick win. Hopefully that links to here. So I might just link it to here at the moment. So I'll sort of say when the quick win label has been automatically moved to because it doesn't meet the link to that issue there. So I'll create that in that group, and then there's no magic or anything like that. We'll just have to then go into each of the other groups. GitLab.com labels.
So you have to create it in each group manually.
Yeah, all 4 groups. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a slightly better way of doing it, but sometimes it's not worth trying to be too clever and automate. We've got
And what are the 4 groups?
So I will stop sharing now while I do the other 2. If you share again, in the processor, the quick win processor or quick win label or whatever it is, there is the quick win label.rb that you've got open. There's on line 13, it mentions these GitLab org, GitLab com, GitLab community, and GitLab components is slightly misleading. If you grep from GitLab components, you'll find the definition of that method.
Or GitLab components, you said?
So if you copy that last on line 13, if you copy the method name, exactly, yeah. I'm in the kitchen, so I don't have the benefit of 2 monitors at the moment, so I have to flick backwards and forwards. So then find what that const definition is, and you see that that group name isn't actually GitLab components, it's just components. But it is a GitLab owned group. So GitLab community, so I'm going to go components. Done 3 of the 4, last one.
It's interesting that triage ops does check for the GitLab community group when it doesn't even operate on that group because there's no webhook for it.
Oh, interesting. We should. I was going to say we should probably set that up. I'm slightly worried about what might happen. Should we risk it? Oh.
What's the significance? What are we risking?
So this project, we talked about it yesterday, I think. It's split up into 2 sections. So we've got the reactive stuff and the scheduled stuff. The reactive stuff reacts to merge requests being created, updated, closed, labeled, issues being created, notes being added, like webhooks fire like thousands of webhooks probably every hour on like in the main GitLab groups. And there's all sorts of stuff that happens off the back of that. It will, see if one label's added and another label's missing, or it will check if a team member raised a merge request, and if it wasn't a team member, it will label it as a community contribution. There's hundreds of automations set up, and they're currently running on 2 or 3 different groups. It's not configured on the GitLab community group. So there's a small possibility that if we set it up, I'm just trying to find out if I've actually got access because I don't even know the webhook. I thought I had access to webhooks in one of the groups. If we set it up, it might sort of fire in some random places and do some weird stuff we weren't expecting, but like I wonder if when an issue gets opened, if it might randomly post. We've got a message that we post when a new issue is created by a community member that sort of says, to help get the right eyes on this issue, then add a group label and stuff like that. So not that I was going to say not that many people create issues in our community group, but we do have like the onboarding issues and the duo access requests and stuff like that. So maybe we'll hold fire on that for the moment. So you created the const in the labels file. I've created the label in 4 groups, even though one of them might not even be relevant. And all you probably need to do now is, well, I think you know, right?
Right, just label it.
Exactly.
I think I missed a quote.
And I guess because we've defined the const elsewhere, you'll need to reference it with, you know, what I mean. So this is triage quick win label, and what's the label? Like, so if you go up to the top, just see the names. Is it just literally labels? So yeah, I think you just need to give it the sort of labels prefix, if you know what I mean.
Is it the double colon?
Yeah, and I think it was
Labels.
Yeah, plural. I think so. Labels.
Yeah, labels.
So you should be able to run the entire suite of specs quite quickly in this project. Oh, you're one step ahead on that as well. Awesome.
I just checked to make sure it ran before we started pairing.
And
okay,
they all
so
passed?
I have a failure. Yeah, before we started pairing.
Perfect. So we know that this is 100% because of that.
There's a difference in the stub request.
Exactly. I would probably start by a bit further down. Hopefully you can click on the where it says that quick win label spec line 91 to jump to the right place. So I don't know if you probably did know this already, but if you hold control or command and click on the like message, yeah, then it will take you straight to that place in the file. So yeah, so it should be quite
put this in.
Yeah, I would what's the word I'm looking for? Like expand I wouldn't use the variable. I would actually expand it out, sort of thing like we've done with quick win.
Then it would be
it's one of those sort of arguable ones, but I get the jitters.
So without automation though.
You're changing the wrong file. Yeah, because if you look in here, you can see we've done. No, we do want the automation. We do want the automation prefix, but we're not interpolating the string, if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly, perfect. And I guess run the spec again. Really, it should be as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. Excuse me. So you've already created a branch by the looks of it?
Yep. So I can just to check and make sure I didn't remove anything else. Do we have any commit style conventions? I haven't read anything about it.
They're frustratingly, they vary between the projects. So I think we might have looked briefly the other day on the GitLab project. We used the changelog trailer, but we don't use that to the best of my knowledge on triage ops. So the main like guidance I follow, someone shared a link ages ago, and this is probably common knowledge if you've been sort of doing this thing for a long time, but I used to sometimes get confused between like I'd say, oh, fixed blah or added blah or this changes X or whatever. But somebody gave me this kind of I don't know, reusable like way to remember the way to write commit messages a long time ago. And they basically said you should be able to say, when applied, this commit will, and then whatever your commit message is. So in this instance, I would sort of, you want to use is it like present tense would be the correct one? So like we'll add, and it's capital, always capital at the beginning, never a full stop at the end. And I think we've got like a 72 character limit. But what will it do? So add quick win remove label. I mean, you could explicitly say automation quick win, but I think quick win remove labels and like all right for the commit message when removing the quick win label, I guess.
So sorry, amend the commit.
Yeah, and it also looks like here it's getting a bit moany because I don't know if you've set up your email address and naming it yet. So yeah, I wouldn't just do that because that's a bit meaningless in itself. But I would say add quick win remove label when removing quick win label, if that makes sense.
On the correct remote is maybe also the problem.
And looking at who is set as committer, it seems like your email is in fact not really set up for Git.
Yeah, so you might want to do the git config global commands first. And then if you do git commit amend and do the reset author thing, then
so is this per repo then that I have to?
So the global flag that you're passing there is basically telling it to do it across your entire machine. Which seems weird because I would have thought that when you were doing like the handbook stuff the other day that but maybe you said it just for that repo.
I might have. I also was messing around this weekend on my personal account on the same computer with GitLab, so I might have purposely not set that up. I actually started a new profile on my computer to try to go through the community contributions.
Yeah, I saw like Daniel
all the way from the
approved an
beginning.
access request, and I was like, what? But I remember you saying.
Yeah,
I've also seen that and was like, I know that name.
So sorry, we wanted to go back to amending this.
Yeah, and I think you might have to. Oh no, it looks okay now. I think we'll check in a minute once we do. Yeah, so I would just add the sort of. Although it sounds very backwards, it's add quick win, remove label when removing quick win label.
Yeah, but amending a commit will in fact not change the author. That has to be done with a separate flag.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. If you git log now, that will show that that's probably still yeah, so you can see it's got your name actually, but that random thing. So if you quit this, I think the command was there. So you can do git commit, amend, reset author, and maybe no edit at the end as well.
You said no edit?
Yeah, so that won't prompt you to change the message, I think. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, with the no edit flag, you don't change the message, and you can change the author with the -- author flag on the commit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But that looks good, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
And cool, perfect. So out of interest, where you did what are you using the canonical repository? You're not using the community fork.
Oh, sorry.
I'll use that against you at some point in the future, don't worry. Awesome. I'll push that up then, I guess.
Yeah, cool. I didn't know about the reset author flag. I have always manually fixed it by retyping my fixed author in the -- author flag instead of resetting it.
Interesting. So I think I've always just followed. It's a bit like I always just do git push. And then when git returns the error that this branch isn't tracked and you need to use git pat push origin, blah, 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 then I just copy and paste that. I've always done that, and I probably will always continue to do that. It looks like you've got an alias set up there, though, right? For that?
Yeah, that's through Oh My Zish or Zish,
Oh, nice.
Zish,
Nice.
Zish. I don't know. I've never learned to say that. Do you know how to say that?
I would just say oh my ZSH, to be honest. But
Oh, right, because you guys say it different too. So
um,
I don't know how to say
so
that.
should we just follow that link that's been spat out at the bottom of the terminal and go through and create the MR? And I don't think it's unacceptable for me to review it, approve it, and merge it.
So do I need to add the issue number here? Like prefix it with
So
an issue
what
number?
should happen if you scroll down to the bottom of the description? It should automatically have picked up. There you
Closes,
go.
yeah.
Closes 159. I normally cut that and like move it up to the top and into the sort of like what and why bit. And then yeah, like I would probably copy and paste the MR title maybe, because you've pretty much said what you're doing and you've linked to the issue that describes why. So in all honesty, I think I would probably, that's probably enough.
Maybe you already know it, or maybe you don't, but if you add a plus after the issue reference, it will also render the title.
Nice tip.
So a plus here.
Bingo.
Yes. And if you go to the preview now, you will see that it also shows the issue title and not only the number.
Nice.
Wicked. So it's automatically got the current milestone. Is there a slash assign me quick action in the MR description? I'm not sure if there is. There probably is. Yeah, there is. So you don't need to particularly do that. It's already got our team label on. And the only thing I tend to do is tick the squash button as well, even though you've only pushed one commit. If anyone like ends up adding a suggestion and applying a suggestion, etc., it just makes it easier.
Did I not? When I committed, did I not add anything?
So these are commits. Merge requests and diffs are generated asynchronously, so it just takes a couple of seconds. Well, a couple of seconds in this repo, a couple of minutes in the main monolith repo to generate.
I did notice that when I was making commit the other day that it took a second.
Yeah, so
it also only takes minutes for the main repo if you work from a fork. If you work directly in the project, it's also just some seconds.
We'll have to fix that eventually, right? But yeah, that's awesome. And like, yeah, I can go and review, and I mean, I can approve it and merge it straight away. It just needs to go through the pipeline and the merge train, etc. But I think we're good to go. Nice. And then I think we'll test it as well. We'll just we'll add the quick win label to one of our issues that doesn't meet the requirements, and it should do what it's supposed to do.
Cool. So
easier than expected.
Sorry.
Easier than expected.
Yeah. Yeah. So just you'll approve, and then did I check automatically merge? Will it just merge after you approve?
It should. We do sometimes like the pipeline if it's a bit flaky or anything, because what will happen is it will have to run a merge train pipeline as well. So once the merge result pipeline is complete, a merge train pipeline will run. And then once that's complete, if it's all green, then it will get merged. And then technically we then have to wait for the master pipeline to complete, which will do the deployment. And then once it's all deployed, then we can actually test it.
Cool.
Excuse me. Awesome. Nicholas, did you have anything? We got sort of 10 minutes potentially, although I certainly won't complain at an early finish. But do you have anything you wanted to bounce around?
My MRs are good, I would say.
Cool. Are
Just passed
you?
another one for review. Think, yeah,
Is it
22
another one
hours.
as exciting or crazy as because you got that one about subscriptions merged, right?
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
we got
We'll
it
have to
merged.
make sure we shout about that. Make sure we get release post as well. I don't know if that's already planned.
It is behind a feature flag and currently also only for on the GraphQL side. I do have an MR open to add it to the UI, but that will definitely need to wait for the next release
Okay.
anyways, because multi-version compatibility with GraphQL.
Okay. So I'm getting a bit carried away, but still, it's awesome to see such a long-awaited feature. So, Ariana, this is for the ability to be able to query the. Is it issues or merge requests or both? Or
The issue says for issues, but let me check the MR. I think we implemented it for like everything.
yeah, maybe it was everything on like a concern to be like subscribable or whatever it's called. So you can
Yes,
basically
yeah,
query.
it's a parameter of the issuable finder,
Awesome.
and the parameter has been added for issues, merge requests, sync work items also somewhere.
Brilliant.
And
So you one of the
ethics also.
have you got the issue to hand to drop into the chat at all? So
I do.
I imagine it's like lots of upvotes and an incredibly old issue.
Yeah,
That yeah, we've been wanting a long time.
before I send the link, what are your guesses about age and upvotes?
I'm going to go for 8 years old and 160 upvotes. What do I win?
You win the age. You're a bit short on the upvotes.
Wow.
It's currently at 385 upvotes.
Nice. That's really cool. But yeah, but basically the ability to be able to search for all the issues that you're subscribed to, or even have unsubscribed from, I think, as well, if you want, which seems slightly odd. But
currently it's only the issues where you are explicitly unsubscribed or explicitly subscribed to. So if you get subscribed by someone mentioning you, that will not yet be covered by that because of how the whole stuff works, and it's not easily queryable.
so we might need to either keep this issue open or raise a follow-up. Probably keep it open because it's like half done, but that's upsetting because it would be nice to close an 8-year-old issue with 350 upvotes, right? Awesome. Brilliant. Well, yeah, same time. Well, I should say same time next week, but it depends what we're doing this time next week, I guess.
Yeah, I went ahead and didn't schedule it reoccurring because I
Oh, you
wasn't.
haven't at the moment. Okay,
No, I
perfect.
didn't yet.
No, that's great. Do you want to put a reminder in for like maybe Monday week when we're back from the US
Yeah.
to try and set it up? Because again, there's no like obviously it'd be really great if initially we could make sure that like a couple of us are on here, if you know what I mean. But after a little while, it's cool and it's sort of a bit self-sustaining. But wicked. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you both tomorrow, no doubt.